Merci.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Once again, what a wonderful show. Thank you to the member from Tracadie. First of all, I almost have to explain to the members, yeah, that what the, I mean, we're talking about delaying it for 6 months. That's a motion to send it to another committee. It's to bring this bill to the Standing Committee on Law Amendments, the only committee that can invite experts and witnesses to the legislature. Another big problem in our Legislative Assembly in New Brunswick, we can't make experts and witnesses appear before us like other committees. So it's not, so the member, he can repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and try to make it stick and try to say that it's his speech that he's going to try to make stick to Greens, because in politics, as you know, it sticks the more you say it. Well, he could at least repeat something, Madam Speaker, that would be within a book, because what he's proposing makes no sense. Now, it's unfortunate that we can't bring witnesses and experts before the Standing Committee on Economic Policy. That's really unfortunate, because I would like to bring them up as quickly as possible so that we can bring those experts, so that it's not just the minister who answers our questions the way he wants to. Because what's going to happen is, if the minister is there before us, it'll be his agenda, his document. I mean, he's probably been looking at this for months. I mean, let's be honest. He's probably been working on this for months to have answers ready. It's a communications plan. So if I was used to coming here to the legislature and to get sincere answers, I'd have no problem going into the committee and asking questions, knowing I'd be getting sincere answers and not just the ready-made ones. But that's not the case. So if we want to have answers and true, sincere thoughts, we're going to have to bring experts and witnesses from the outside so that these things are brought to the House. And while I'm correcting the member, I'd like to tell him it's a time allocation motion, not a closure motion. A closure motion would mean that we would stop debate right away. That's not what's happening. It's a time allocation. Do I agree with him? No. Whether it's closure or time allocation, I don't agree. But I mean, if I'm going to correct him, I'm going to correct him properly. Yeah, oh, I know he knew that. I know he already knew that. So, Madam Speaker, as I'm saying, if we could get sincere answers, but even this morning, during question period, I found that there was an excellent question from the member from Miramichi Grand Lake, or Fredericton Grand Lake. He had a good question, and it was not answered. The minister, once again, brought something out from his communications plan. So what tells us that he won't do the same thing again in committee? Or will he change things and sincerely give us true, real, sincere answers? So for that reason, we proposed to send this to the Standing Committee on Law Amendments in order to bring experts and witnesses to the House to have a better idea of what the impact will be for our citizens and our communities. And I was very clear. I already presented my speech on the bill itself. Now I'm talking about the amendment. I was very clear when it comes to my position on this reform. But I think there are still questions to be answered. So, what will happen to all the Crown land? Why are they in rural districts where there is very little representation or very few decisions made? That is something that is worrying me a lot. As I said during debate, I think it would be important that in this reform that there also be a way for our communities to reach out and create conversations, nation to nation, with the First Nations.
To talk about resource use and to talk about the way that these resources can make our communities more resilient, how they can help our local economies. So I'd be interested to know. And I doubt that the minister will give me the answers. I doubt that the minister will give me the answers. And for that reason, I would like to be able to have witnesses and experts. Another question I'd like to mention is the situation with Baie-Sainte-Anne. Baie-Sainte-Anne, that's just at the limit of my riding. A very, very nice community, a dynamic one. A community that is expanding. Well, Baie-Sainte-Anne is asking to have more power on their own destiny. We have a community that rises and says, we want more self-determination. We want to participate and to control our future. We want the minister to empower us. I'm not convinced that we're going to have sincere answers in committee. I'd like to hear from these people. I got calls from the people in Sussex. People in Sussex called me to let me know that they are living in LSDs and that they want to have representation. We want to be part of this reform, to have structure that will give us the means and the resources to move constructively towards the future. I believe that's important, an important discussion to have, Madam Speaker. So like I said, I made my position extremely clear at second reading. I'm looking forward to it being sent to committee. I'd rather have a committee with experts and witnesses. Because of what I was saying. And I doubt the sincerity. Were we mentioning details or parts of answers that are necessary? I believe this is common practice. I believe it's called communication plans and risk management and the management of many things that are not parliamentary democracy, that is about it, studying topics. This place here, at a certain time, there were amendments being brought to the floor that passed. Today, let me tell you that I doubt that this would happen. So I won't be going any further than this. The House will decide whether they want to go forward with this amendment or not, but I just wanted to clarify why we had this amendment, and I want to repeat it one last time before I sit down. It is because it is the only committee at this legislature that can have witnesses and experts. I would like to have witnesses and experts appear in all the committees, but we are stuck with what we have. We can't say that we didn't try before. We've tried many times before. And the decisions made by speakers were always that this was the precedent. We couldn't have witnesses and experts, whereas other jurisdictions enable this. Once again, this is inconsistent. This is a New Brunswick inconsistency, a way of doing things that is our way of doing things, but this is why I wanted to bring this amendment forward, Madam Speaker. I believe that I clarified this. Thank you very much for the time that you gave me, and let's move